morning, good afternoon, or good night. My name is Mars Fox Jr. This is Become the Podcast. How do you become anything? You dream, you declare, you commit, and success is your next breath. With me, I have the illustrious, the troublesome, Simon Sullivan Fox. Simon, say hi.
Hi.
Can you say hi a little louder?
Hi.
Can you say Simon?
Mama.
Can you say pop pop?
Papa.
Can you say hi
Hi.
people?
Papa.
And last words, can you say become?
Help.
All right. So that was Simon Sullivan. I just got done working out. He was having a pretty awful night of sleep. I think it was because he ate a ton of sweets. I think he had a bellyache. And I also think somehow those sweets created some pretty weird dreams, because he woke up several times last night saying some crazy things. And so I think a combination of dreams and a bellyache as a result of the candy, the chocolate, the gummy bears, and the sugary treats gave him a rough night. And so he's up extra early, and I'm up extra early, and so here we are. So I was getting up doing my workout, and I did a different workout than I did last week. Last couple of weeks I've been doing Insanity, and I decided to just change it up a little bit, because although Insanity is cool and it's effective, it causes me to do a lot of jumping around and a lot of crazy stuff, and trying to do that at 5 o'clock in the morning where everybody else is asleep was really, really tough, because I spend more time trying to land softly than getting after the workout and getting the benefits of the workout. So I decided to change it up to something that I could do and get after, but will be kind of quiet. So anyway, one of the things that I did, which was small, but I think it gave me a content for the pod, was to not let myself see how much time I have when I'm doing my exercises. So I did this exercise where I would get on the Bolsey ball and I do 5 single leg squats, right? I did it for 10 minutes straight. So 5 right leg, 5 left leg, 5 right leg, so on and so forth. I just keep going back and forth for 10 minutes. And I was so tempted to look at the clock, and I didn't, and I just let the clock go off when it did, and kept moving, right? When I was younger or training, 3 times, 4 times a week, I would always have the stopwatch with me, and I would always do all my drills would take 5 minutes. So if I did a drill on the right side of the floor, or did a drill that was just primarily focusing on my right hand, I would go as hard as I possibly could. All depending on if it was really the drill was really intense, I would take a break every now and then, maybe 2 free throws, and get back to the action. If I felt like I was really doing something really, really intense, like maybe a full court drill. Well, if I do a full court drill, I'm going really hard. I'm going to give myself a free throw in every now and then to kind of catch my breath, so I can be strong for the entire 5 minutes. Well, anyway, anytime I was doing a drill like that, I wouldn't look at the clock. I had trained myself to not look at the clock, and I began to appreciate that about myself, because when I would train with other people, or when I would train other people, they always wanted to know how much time was left. And when I started, again, even in practices with college kids, or anytime I was with someone and we were doing some hard work, they would always be focused on how much time do we have left. And I couldn't really, and even now I can't really put my thumb on why that's problematic, but I do know there are some benefits to being able to work and not caring about the time, and not getting caught up in how long you got to go. And so as I was doing this exercise today, I remembered how confident and how accomplished and how strong I felt when I just did the work and I allowed the timer to stop me, and I didn't peek at the clock to tell me what time it was or how much longer I had to go, because I felt like it develops. By doing that, you develop some strength. You develop a focus. You learn how to endure. You learn how to persevere. You learn how to acknowledge the pain, but then focus on the work, right? So I'm working out and I'm going through it. My body's going through it, whatever I'm doing. And so instead of focusing on how much time I have, you want to start focusing on, well, I know I'm hurting and I know I'm struggling, but let me just keep on working. Let me just keep getting better. Let me see how many reps I can get. Let me count my reps. Let me make sure that my technique is strong. Let me make sure that my technique is right. I know I'm tired, I'm breaking down, but let me focus in on the technique. Let me focus in on the process. Let's not get caught up in how much time I got. You know what I'm saying? Let me build my mind. Let me build my strength. Let me build my ability to endure by not focusing on the time. Because when you start focusing on the time, you start focusing on things that are inconsequential, irrelevant, right? Obviously, there's times where time is important, but there are other times when if you're giving yourself an objective, don't worry about the time. You know, worry about the objective. Worry about the process. You know what I'm saying? Focus on that. If someone says you got to do this for this amount of time, just focus on that. Like just forget about the time altogether and just work on you and really make yourself present. Make yourself present and try to get everything you can. Try to get everything you can out of this moment in time to do whatever it is you're doing. And as I was doing these exercises this morning, I remembered all these cool benefits. And then I felt so accomplished because I felt like I powered through. Because I didn't look at the time. I just kept on doing my exercises and I just kept on working. And then I was started to remember all the times when I would go for, an entire hour and a half. And all I did was set my clock and just go as hard as I could. And I was so fixated on the work itself, I didn't care about the time. And I felt like that strengthened me. That made me feel like I was a little stronger than I probably really was. But I felt like I could endure. So now when I was given opportunities in life to do other things, I became accustomed to not worrying about the time. I just became focused in on the work. And I started to remember how that became there's another timer going on. That became my process for life in general. So as it related to my dreams and my goals and my definite chief aim, my aspirations, I never get caught up in the time, right? So I'm not concerned with the timer a time that I've given myself to do something. In terms of if I'm doing an exercise, I'm not concerned with this countdown, right? I'm not concerned with this countdown. I'm not concerned with how much time I have to, how long. I'm not concerned with doing something that hurts for a long time. Okay, I'm not afraid of struggling for a long time, and I'm not concerned with how long it may take me to do something that I want. Like I got to a point where I just didn't really acknowledge time, right? So I'm giving you two different situations as best as I can. So if I had to go hard for an hour, I wasn't going to be concerned about the hour. I was going to be concerned about, can I actually go hard for an hour? Or can I go hard until the time is up? Can I perform on a high level until the time expires, right? So I'm more concerned about the objective of going hard than I am about how long I have to go hard. And then when it relates to my dreams, I stopped caring about how old I was and how long it was taking. All I cared about was fulfilling my objectives or just going hard and working on my craft. I didn't care that it was taking me, a little longer than I expected. Matter of fact, I didn't even get caught up in what to expect. I just focused on going hard and doing a very good job and being as excellent as I possibly could. So I say all that to say, try working out. Give yourself a time and do that work and not focus in on the time. Now, it helps when you have something that counts down and something that goes off. That helps. But everybody works out with their smartphone, and their smartphone has something that counts down, right? So just try it. Whether it's a minute, whether it's 2 minutes, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes, whatever the case may be, just try to work out and not get caught up in the time. Just try to get lost in the work. Get lost in the work. Get lost in, if you're doing something that requires several steps, get lost in every step. Get lost in every step. And not get caught up in the time. And I think what you'll find is, once you keep doing that, all of a sudden time will become irrelevant to you. Now this has got to be balanced. There's got to be balance. You have to be aware of time, because there's something to be said about speed, right? If I can get this work done faster than this other person can get their work done, and it's right, there's some benefit to that. But the ability to endure and not worry about when it's going to end or when it's going to happen, but just get caught up in watching yourself grow. Get caught up in watching yourself grow spiritually, physically, mentally. That gives you confidence. That gives you strength. That gives you an appreciation of yourself, because you'll sit back and you'll say, man, look what I went through. And look how I behaved while I was going through it. You pat yourself on the back, and there's nothing wrong with that. Every now and then we need to pat ourselves on the back. Every now and then we need to put ourselves through things to give us a reason to pat ourselves on the back and say, you know what? I took care of that. That was tough. I took care of that. And even though it was tough, I was strong. I was focused. I was locked in. I didn't behave in ways that were weak. I behaved in ways that were a model and a symbol of strength. And if somebody were to watch me work, they would say, man, look at that person powering through. Look at that person getting after it. Look at that person breaking down, but recovering. And although they had a moment of breakdown, 60 seconds of breakdown, then I seen them get after it for an additional 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I see them break down for 60 seconds and I see them get after it, because that's kind of what life is. We get so caught up in the time and how long it's going to take, how much longer we have to go, and we lose sight of the opportunity to grow and become stronger in some way. So, with that being said, I hope that makes sense. There's a small little moment this morning of me working out for 10 minutes. I worked out for longer than 10 minutes. But for 10 minutes, I did one exercise and I didn't focus in on the clock. And it reminded me of the strength that comes with enduring, but not getting caught up in how long it's going to take or how much longer you got to go, but just getting caught up in, can I continue to work consistently, and can I handle the struggle and the pain and the discomfort that sometimes comes with persistence and consistency and just constant effort? Can I endure that? And I did. And I feel a little stronger because of it. I think that's something that we could all benefit from. So, I'm done. 14 minutes. I'm going to finish this thing off so I can get in under 15 seconds. Greatness lives on the edge of death. I am not afraid to die. I will fight for my dreams. I will celebrate my dreams, and I will die for my dreams. Thoughts are things, and everything starts off as a thought first and springs from a place of mindfulness and clarity. My name is Mark Fox Jr. I'll talk to you soon. Shoot. 15 seconds. I mean, 15 minutes and 15 minutes and counting, but it was close. Y'all take care. Done.